Well, Frankie Lee and Judas Priest, they were the best of friends. So when Frankie Lee needed money one day, Judas quickly pulled out a roll of tens, placed them on a footstool just above the plotted plains, said, "Take your pick, Frankie boy. My loss will be your gain." Well, Frankie Lee, he sat right down and put his finger to his chin. But with the cold eyes of Judas on him, his head began to spin. "Would you please not stare at me like that," he said. "It's just my foolish pride. But sometimes a man must be alone, and this is no place to hide." But Judas, he just winked and said, "All right, I'll leave you here. But you better hurry up and choose which of those bills you want before they all disappear." "I'm gonna start my picking right now," he said. "Just tell me where you'll be." Judas pointed down the road. He said, "Eternity." "Eternity," said Frankie Lee, with a voice as cold as ice. "That's right," said Judas Priest, "eternity, though you may call it paradise." "I don't call it anything," said Frankie Lee with a smile. "All right," said Judas Priest, "I'll see you after a while." Well, Frankie Lee, he sat back down, feeling low and mean. Just then a passing stranger burst upon the scene, saying, "Are you Frankie Lee, the gambler, whose father's deceased?" "Well, if you are, there's a fella calling you down the road, and he says his name is Priest." "Oh, yes, he is my friend," said Frankie Lee in fright. "I do recall him very well. In fact, he just left my sight." "Yes, that's the one," said the stranger, as quiet as a mouse. "Well, my message is he's down the road, that he's stranded in a house." Well, Frankie Lee, he panicked. He dropped everything and ran, till it came upon a spot where Judas Priest did stand. "What kind of house is this," he said, "where I have come to roam?" "It's not a house," said Judas Priest. "It's not a house, it's a home." Well, Frankie Lee, he trembled. He soon lost all control over everything which he had made while the mission bells did toll. He just stood there staring at that big house as bright as any sun, with 24 windows and a woman's face in every one. Well, up the stairs ran Frankie Lee with a soulful bounding leap. Foaming at the mouth, he began to make his midnight creep. For 16 days and nights he raved, but on the 7th day he burst into the arms of Judas Priest, which is where he died of thirst. Well, no one tried to say a thing when they carried him out in jest, except of course for the little neighbor boy who carried him the rest. And he just walked along alone with a guilt so well concealed, muttered underneath his breath, "Nothing is revealed." Well, the moral of the story, the moral of this song, is simply that one should never be where one does not belong. So when you see your neighbor carrying something, help him with his load. And don't go mistaking paradise for the home across the road.